Is your child is in high school? If yes, then please do watch this video because we are discussing how you as a parent can help your child with college admissions. The topic that we will be covering in this video: college admission, scholarship, FAFSA. We will also talk about a college roadmap that you can follow for 4 years and guide yourself as a parent as well as your child to prepare themselves for the college admission.
This channel where I talk about career, I talk about people from their high school to wherever they are in the career. As parents doing so many things for ourselves to build our career, we also have our kid and responsibility where we are trying to help them to begin their career. And there are so many things that we can do as a parent, especially when they are in high school. Prepare them for the college admission and then actually go through the college where they are not only gaining the knowledge but they are also building their own character, their own inspiration, and trying to kind of prepare themselves for next 30 years. So Hung, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think, Vinny, you captured that very well. You and I have been working together for almost 5 years now with the College and Career Center at Seminole High School. And I think that going forward, we can extract a lot of that experience to help parents and students that coming up in the future. So really appreciate what you're doing, Vinny.
I can start like with just a part of like I thought college was totally out of reach.
So yeah, share that, Omar.
So that was like the first thing I when I was talking to with my son, and thank God I have 3 kids. And when I was talking with my oldest, I told him, I can't, I'll do my best to help you, of course, go to college and all that, but I don't have $150,000 laying around just for you to, kind of test out college and see if you like it or not. Um, but then when I started doing the research, started actually calling like the schools around me, and I found, that the UCF, a full college, their actual tuition I think was around 30,000 for the whole degree. I think it was like 4 or 5 years, and the rest was for the boarding. So I was like, well, why leave the house? Why don't you stay with us? I know that's the cool thing to do, and have that cool experience with your friends, but why don't you stay with us and save that money? And then now we focus only on 30,000 of that. So we started, working on that. But then that's when Hung and I started talking. And then Hung was like, no, wait, there is scholarships. I was like, yeah, but scholarships are supposed to be like for super smart people. And she's like, no. These scholarships are open for everybody. And then it changes based on, of course, your academic background, racial background, all that. So there is a lot of opportunities for so many other people. So that's where I had no idea. I heard, of course, about it before, but I didn't know that it helped that much. Most of the time, when you hear of a scholarship, it's $1,000 here or there. But for it to cover a big chunk of that 30,000, that's a huge factor, and that doesn't even include the other scholarship, the one that you told me about. I can't pronounce.
That's the Benekisto.
Yes, Benekisto one. So that one, even that's even better. But that one, the trick with that one is we got to start at the beginning of high school. So met with my wife, met with my also with the other kids. Like, all right, we couldn't make it with the older one, but at least for the other two, let's look into that and see how we can apply for that. And again, another way to look at things that I was actually telling my son today. A lot of time people are like, oh, I don't want to apply for a scholarship. How long this is going to take me? I don't like writing this much, and. I was like, well, think about that for a minute. How much, for you to go work at a place, and let's say that you're going to work, a really neat starting job, $15 an hour. How much that's going to, give you? How long will it take you to make that 30,000? It's going to take you at least a year. If you're making $15 an hour, multiply that by 40 by 52 weeks, that's 30,000 for a year, not including any of the taxes or the fees. So that's assuming full money coming to your pocket. Compare that to if it takes you even 10 hours. writing a paper or writing an essay, why not? So that was hopefully an eye opener for for my son, to encourage him to apply for all these scholarships. And again, if he applies for 10 and he gets one, and that will be the one that will pay that much, even even that $1,000 scholarship, it's still worth it. $1,000, again, multiply the number of hours that you don't mind working at so and so place and making that 15, even $20 an hour. It's still, you spend a couple of hours, and if you can get that grant, that's way better.
I agree so much with that, Omar, and I have the same conversation with my children. So I think when it comes to parents, we all agree that just sitting down, spending an hour, writing that essay, submit the scholarship application, it could be, 10, 50, 100 hours of working minimum wage, right? If you get that $1,000 or $2,000. So the point that Vinny and I have been trying to share with parents in the last many years is that there are a list of scholarships out there for every county. Seminole County School Board does that, Orange County School Board. So everywhere you have this list of scholarship for local scholarships that you can apply for, in addition to all the national ones. So it's just a matter of looking through, choosing the one that fits your criteria, and apply. But on top of all that, exactly like you said, Omar, there's Bright Futures for the state of Florida. And that's not a scholarship that you apply. It's almost like a 3-4 years of preparation in high school, right? So you have to meet all the credit hours, you have to have a certain GPA, and then they have 3 levels. So if you don't meet one, you can meet the one lower, etc. And then the community service hours that you need to qualify as well. So if you are aware and you prepare, it's very easy to get for many of the Florida students.
Another idea we're thinking of, I don't know if it has any disadvantages, but I told him, look, why don't we start with the community college? You have to do these classes anyhow. One, it's cheaper than the regular college. Two, it gives you a year or two, well, actually I think 2 years, for you to go figure out what you want to get into, do the training, do the volunteering, get to meet with more people, and it gives you at least a chance for you to go through at least 2 years before you make that decision. And then, God willing, at that point, you can go to UCF and then focus on the career that you want.
I think that's a great suggestion. I think that is perfect for him to try out college, and then, like you said, continue the conversation and seeking out advice from either UCF, from other people that he knows. I think that's a great path.
Florida State Community College and UCF are tightly integrated with each other. So they support that you do the first 2 years in the Florida State College, which is, as you said, much cheaper. And then there is a transition from there to UCF as far as admission is concerned. So many people are actually adopting that. I know somebody, wealthy family, they adopted that procedure where their son is going to the Florida State College for first 2 years, and then from there go to the UCF.
Omar, I mentioned the FAFSA, right? FAFSA. Yes. So that's very critical for all seniors in high school to start looking at, filling out. At Seminole High School, there are normally 2 major events for seniors in regards to financial aid. One is to assist the students to fill out the FAFSA. It's always a big event during the year because it's so important, and all the students, regardless of the parents' income, etc., are encouraged to fill out the FAFSA. So that's very important. And the second event is about Bright Futures. So every time we have a financial aid night, we focus on those 2 things. Helping the students to complete the FAFSA and helping the students to apply for Bright Futures.
The FAFSA is one application that you fill for all the scholarship, as well as all the loans. Even though you don't have to take loan or you're not planning to take loan, you still have to fill this application so that you can get scholarship money. So
Okay.
that's kind of the tricky part. So when you submit and when they then send you later for you qualify for this grant, be sure that the grant is actually free money or is a loan, because you definitely don't want to take loan, but then the free money that they will give in terms of the scholarship.
That
So
was the wrong perception that I had with FAFSA. Every time I read it, I thought it was only for like money borrowing. I didn't know that that was also part of the actual grant, kind of requesting process.
yeah, and if you don't fill FAFSA, then you won't get any scholarship, any grants.
Exactly, exactly. So that's why it's a very beginning of everything.
Everything.
Yes, yes. So besides the FAFSA, once you're done with the FAFSA and Bright Futures, and just to notice that there's a lot of details to look into. So that's why there even session to teach the kids how to fill out the FAFSA, because you have to have all of the parents' information at your fingertips before you fill it out.
Yeah.
And the kind of ID and things that you put in, it's going to stay there forever, because the FAFSA need to be reviewed every year when they're in college if they want to continue receiving the grant or the scholarship. So whatever you put in, it has to be very thoughtful, very accurate. A lot of things will cross with the IRS as far as income and tax. So it is a process in itself, Omar, some preparation that's required. So there's the FAFSA, the Bright Future is the same. As you looked up and you saw, Omar, there's a number of credit hours, the GPA, and also we mentioned the community service hours. And then for, say, like for the community service hours, they have to be acknowledged and signed by teachers at the school. So again, in itself is a process. Every few months, the students have to fill out a form for the counselor or the teacher. The people who acknowledge their service have to sign, and then the counselors have to sign. So that is that part. But on top of that, there's also websites out there for scholarship. It's like a one-stop shop for scholarship that makes it really nice. So if you go on these websites and you fill out all of the students' information, then it will go out and match you with the criteria that fit your whatever, race or ethnicity, or and then it will point you to the scholarships to apply, and it will remind you every day. This scholarship is due, December 1st. The next one will do February 1st. So it's extremely helpful. So that's something to keep in mind as well for scholarships.
Thank you for that. I didn't know about the one shop website, because that's usually very exhausting. Like, oh, I have to go to 17 websites, try to fill up my information everywhere, but this helps a lot.
I still receive the email every day for my daughter. They keep sending me things. And the reason, because even when the students in college, they can still continue applying for scholarship. It doesn't end when you finish high school. Omar, as we speak, I keep thinking about things that was helpful for me. So I'm gonna put in the chat another one. This one, they have been sending me things in the last 4 years, and I use that it's called collegevine.com. But yeah, so it's a lot of things that are free. If you want to pay, you can pay, and they assign you a counselor to work with for college admission. But a lot of the emails, if you sign up just for emails, I find so much useful and timely information with this organization. So collegevine.com, if you can go on, sign up with them, they send you very frequent emails and tips for everything, SAT, ACT, how to apply for college, what are the workaround for different things. So yeah, that's another useful resource.
Yep. Thank you very much. Nice.
And I remember that when Vedic was in 11th and 12th grade, my wife has set up these rules, and she was receiving emails What she was doing, she would do the job of screening, and then whatever she think is matching to Vedic, my son, she would send those to Vedic, and then she will ask him to apply. But by doing this, she was reducing the time that Vedic will have to spend otherwise going through these websites and finding what matters or what matching to him, and then do all the work to apply it. So if you ask kid to do this entire process, they're probably not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But what she was doing, she was minimizing the work, and then she was kind of asking him that this is the match, and see if they're actually the match, and if it is, then apply. So she was being a project manager, I guess, at that point for my son to do certain activity every week.
And it can be very overwhelming the senior year in high school. You know, there's so many things that they have to do. The college application process is very involved, trying to finish up all the required courses for graduation. And then all the things that we're talking about now, it can be very overwhelming for them. So Omar, I just put in the chat the link for the FastWeb for the scholarship.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think so too. So Omar, as far as Bright Future, I think that would be the most urgent at this point for your oldest son. So I would recommend looking at the Bright Future requirements right now and try to match that with his transcript, right? Like, you know, all the courses, look at the GPA, because like I said, I think there are like 3 different levels. Like it will pay 100% or 75 or 50 based on the GPA. And then look at the requirement for the community service hours and see how much can he speed up to meet all the requirements by graduation. Like for this year of 2021, the deadline for applying for Bright Future is not until end of August. So if they keep that for 2022, he still have time until end of August 2022 to meet all the requirements.
It's a good idea also what you guys said about, because I'm thinking like I'm gonna tell him, but he has to figure out, he has to go and fill it up. But you guys are right, like it's very hard for them to do all that work. But if I split it kind of with him, do some part, I'm like, all right, I'll meet you halfway, or meet me halfway.
Yeah.
I'll do one part, but you gotta do your part too. So yeah, that's a very good point.
Yes, yes. And, you know, just like, you know, Vinny's wife, I had to jump in and, you know, do certain things too, because when you see them drowning,
Yes.
my daughter was an IB in which she was definitely drowning the last year of high school. You just have to stand by and help them with whatever, you know, especially the administrative kind of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the research for scholarship and that type of thing, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, consider yourself their assistant or project manager or whatever it is. But it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
Like it's a family. One more comment on the scholarship. When you look at these scholarship, there are national level scholarship, and then there are local scholarship. And local scholarship could be a county level where you only have 7 schools who can participate. It could be local, that a dentist around your area is giving $1,000 scholarship for anybody who is interested in science field. All these scholarship, what they ask for is you will go to a science college, right? Engineering or something or whatever, and then you're writing an essay for whatever a topic that they have. And most of the time these essays include about you, who you are. So you're writing about yourself, you're writing about why you want to be an engineer, or why you want to be in science, why you like it. So all that you write once. It will be hard, it will be tedious, because you have to go deeper into yourself to understand really the real meanings of all these questions, and why what they mean to you. But once you're done with it, the next application, and the next application would be easier because the core part will be there, and you will be tweaking or adding additional items based on what a specific thing that they are asking for.
Looking for.
The number of hours that you spend, and if you get 1, 2, or 5 a scholarship, the effort that you if you're putting to write these essays and application is really productive. It's really.
So Omar, I just sent you the link. So this is Seminole County Public Schools scholarship opportunities, and if you scroll through, there are a variety between $1,000 to $10,000 scholarships. Many of them are local, just like Vinny said. So you can use this because they could apply to any county, basically. Or you can also go to the counselor at your son's school, or your son should go and ask, is there an equivalent list for Orange County? And then look through them and see what's applicable.
That'll be great, yeah, because every time I ask him, so how did it go? I don't know. Did he talk to nobody? They weren't there. Like, oh, did he set up time with them? They weren't there. Email them. Oh, I didn't think about that. Come on.
Right. And to his defense, there are just a few counselors in the school, right? So, but like Vinny said, if the student reaches out and makes an appointment, go visit or attend these events, there's a lot of information that they can share. So I really encourage all parents to stay in touch with the counselors in school. They're very helpful. Then there's just so much information out there, Omar.
Do you want to share the roadmap PDF?
Great. So what you're looking at here are the 4 rows, one for each grade, right? So we start with on the top is a senior. So with your second son, you want to start from the very last row and go upward. So what you're looking at here is the majority. Can you see, or is it blurry?
Yeah, I can see it's very good for me.
You see, okay? Yeah. So at the very bottom, yeah, thank you for making that bigger. You see, create a 4-year high school plan. Consult with the counselor. So we just talked about that. From the very beginning, you want to get to know the counselors in the high school. Yeah, get to know them because you're going to be working with them for 4 years. What do we mean by create a 4-year high school plan? When you look at the curriculum to finish high school, I don't know about the school where your children go, but at Seminole High School, there are many tracks that they can choose from. They can be in IB, International Baccalaureate, or they can be in the health academy if they want to go into healthcare field, or they can be traditional, or there are a couple of other paths that they can take. So depending on the interest of your son, you can talk to the counselors to understand what are these tracks and help him select one. And he can change later. It's not, carved in stone, but at least to get him to start thinking about his interests. And then create the classes for each year. So that's the 4-year high school plan. And then we have research career choices. I always tell parents that it's never too early to ask the children to think about what they want to do in their life, because it takes a long time for them to think about it. But the sooner you get them thinking, the better. But then I stress the word cost in there too, right? So as parents, we want to tell our children, okay, if you want to be a doctor, these are the number of years in school and these are the costs. If you want to be an engineer or a car mechanic or a dentist, whatever, these are the choices and these are the costs, so that they can start thinking the way we think. There's costs and benefit to everything that we do. Another link that I would send to you, Omar, which I think very helpful for parents, is from the Department of Labor. They list out hundreds and hundreds of occupation and the most current salary for each of them. So I think it's very eye-opening for students to look at these things and just to have an idea. The next item that I have prepared for the PSAT, and this is the what we talk about, the Benekisto scholarship. The Benekisto is it's really based on the PSAT, and that you take at the beginning of sophomore year. So we want our freshmen to prepare for that, to start practicing with the PSAT. Take challenging classes, maintain a good GPA, participate in extracurricular activities and community service, develop leadership skills, explore summer programs. So starting right between the summer, between freshman and sophomore year, you want them to do some sort of community service or do internship, even unpaid internship. And on this, I want to share something, Omar. Every year, almost every high school that I know have an internship fair, and they only do it once a year. So you have to know when it is. You're lucky if they have it twice, once in the fall and one in the spring, but sometimes they only have it once. So you need to get into that fair, and it helps the students learn how to interview, how to present themselves, how to dress up, how to talk to people, etc., how to create a resume and bring the resume with them to this fair with many employers in the city. So it's a really good practice. So that's what that is about: summer program, internship, and then start working with their parents and their counselors, the financial aspect of college. So that's what we want the freshmen in high school to start thinking about and start preparing. And then the rest of the items going from sophomore to junior and senior are very similar. Omar, if you look at them, they are very similar. It just become more and more focused when you go toward being a senior. But we want them to keep doing the same thing every year, but more focus and with more knowledge, so that when they are senior in high school, they are 100% prepared.
This is perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Huong.
So now, Omar, you have your work cut out for you for your second son.
Yep.
Your next 4 years are planned.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to your daughter, you can do this with your closed eyes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else, Omar, that could be helpful at this point?
No, the part that I thought that I can be hands off and just kind of like, it's your job now, take responsibility, do your da da da. That doesn't really work out. I gotta like actually not do it for him, but at least kind of guide him through it.
So, Omar, you have our ears. If you need anything, holler. We will make it a challenge for you now, Omar, that you're gonna, make all the resources available to your sons, and, hopefully they can take advantage of them. Yeah.
And let me know if you guys need help, like with what what you both did really helps a lot. And I'm sure a lot more people, I'm sure in Advent Health and others, will really benefit from this.
That is so true. It's so true, Omar. In my experience, especially when Vinny and I organized the first and very big college fair at Seminole High School, we met hundreds and hundreds of parents who said the same thing you just said, that they were not aware of these resources and these opportunities. So I think one thing it's good that, Vinny, you're doing this via YouTube, having different channels to share the information. But I think that, we need to challenge ourselves to find as many ways of communicating this as possible. I'm not sure what they are, but there's so many parents out there that are not aware. My very last word on this for today, Omar, my advice, because I had many challenging experiences as a parent with a senior in high school twice, once with my son and one with my daughter, is for you to stay close to them. That is so important. The college application process that Vinny just talked about can be very consuming and so many details, and it takes several pairs of eyes, especially for parents with the, the first child going to college. So I would advise that you work very closely with him, double check everything, make sure that he doesn't miss anything, because it's very easy to miss something. Whole college application process, and stay close with the advisor and counselor in school. Because a lot of time we don't know what question to ask, so it's better just ask an open-ended question. Please keep me posted. Please keep me, on your email list when you send out anything for seniors. Invite me to all the events, etc. But the closer you are to him in the process, the better.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Yeah.
All these information can be overwhelming. You don't have to do each and every step in one day or 1 week or 1 month. As Huong was helping with the priority, she was saying the bright future would be the number 1 thing, FAFSA would be the number 2 thing, and then scholarship would be number 3, and SAT would be number 4, right? Those in sequence. And then what will work if you set weekly or monthly goals. So for November month, these are the top 3 things we will do between you, your wife, and your son, right? And then similarly for December, January, February, pick the top 3 things to do in November, and same thing, repeat that in December and January. You will be better off.
Very good advice. Yes, thank you. If not, then it becomes very overwhelming for him to do the research and work on it. Just even if I, give him everything for him to work on it, it's still super overwhelming. But if I can filter it out for him and just give him, all right, here is kind of like the highest impact one, then that, and then we, like you said, every month take 3, 4 of them and see how many you can do every month, and just keep repeating that every month.
All right, I think we're ready for the weekend.
Yes. I'm all ready. Love this conversation. We are helping our kids in building the better future for everyone.
And financially for the parents too.
Better future for us. If we have to spend less on education, then it's better future for us too.
Totally. Good for our retirement.
And I told him I want a motorcycle. When he graduates, he wants to buy me a motorcycle.
All right, let's make sure he graduates then.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.